I'm here at the 2015 D23 Expo at the Anaheim Convention Center, and joining me now is author Ridley Pearson.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Can they see Donald Duck behind you? Do we have that, Jeffrey?
Yes, we do.
That confirms we're at D23. Not everybody has a duck hanging on their ceiling.
For sure. Well, I know this year has been a great year for you. It's no secret with 2 books coming out, start of a new series. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've just had a terrific time, and the new series is called The Return, and it takes place in Disneyland in 1955. And so The Kingdom Keepers is a series about 5 kids who get inside the Disney parks after dark. Now they're getting inside the Disney parks after dark in 1955, and it takes an unbelievable amount of research. It's just overwhelming. The first book was sort of getting them there, and now that I'm into the second book and I'm in 1955 every living minute, I'm thinking, well, what was the weather on October 13th, 1955? So, I mean, it's slowed down, but it's been so much fun to do because I've discovered all these things that I did not know about Disney and Disneyland in 1955. So
that's awesome.
And I've recreated the Tower of Terror as a dorm. So there's a college dorm that looks an awful lot like the Tower of Terror, and the Fairleys are in there, and it's really, really fun.
So how do you go back 60 years to the past? Like, how do you conduct research for that?
Well, Disney was very clever, and they kept unbelievable archives of everything they've done and everything they've thought. In fact, I was walking through the archives, and I went by a row of, like loose leaf notebooks you would have when you were in 4th grade, and 3-ring notebook kind of thing. There were about 18 of them, and they all said Sleeping Beauty on them. And I thought, wait a second, there's only been one Sleeping Beauty. Why are there 18 Sleeping Beauties up there? And what they were transcriptions of all the meetings that Walt Disney took when creating Sleeping Beauty. They had a stenographer in the room, and she or he typed out everything anybody said, and you can just read through years of developing Sleeping Beauty. So you're transported back to this time, and that's what I hope to do to readers, is kind of transport you back to 1955 and see how incredibly different the parks were, how incredibly different life was. There's an African American in The Kingdom Keepers named Terry Maybeck, and he has a whole different life in 1955. Because back then he's considered a colored, and it's a different world. So it's just, all the women have to wear these pretty little dresses. Girls didn't wear pants in 1950. So I mean, it's just very different. It's fun.
Yeah. So how did you had the Kingdom Keepers Insider webpage for?
Yeah,
how did that play out?
Oh my gosh, was that fun? Well, in The Return, it worked. In the first book, we had the Kingdom Keepers Insider is an interactive site where we all write together. So for Kingdom Keepers 7, we had 150,000 writers from around the world helping me write that book. Hardest job I've ever done, but we ended up putting 38 of them into the book. Their writing is actually in the book. And for the first Return book, we did a similar thing and had people contribute quotations that would start the chapters. And I literally had to have attorneys look these things up because I was convinced they were so sort of profound and amazing. I thought somebody stole these from some. They're all original, and they're brilliant. So, I mean, you never know what age a great writer is. So we're trying to continue that.
Well, I know, like I said, here at D23, what are you doing?
So I get an email. Do you know what an Imagineer is? So for your listeners and viewers who don't know, an Imagineer is a person who is part of a group of about 200 people, and they think up and imagine and create the next cool attraction in Disney World, Disneyland, wherever it's going to be. An amazing job, probably the greatest job on earth. There are Imagineers now, and there are Imagineers then. One of the great Imagineers of all time is a guy named Marty Sklar. So I got an email about 2 months ago that said, would you like to interview Marty Sklar at D23? And I went, what? Me? I had met Marty once, but that's the extent of our friendship. And Marty is kind of the Wayne of the Kingdom Keepers. If I had been intelligent, I would have called Wayne Marty instead of Wayne. But Marty is this amazing Imagineer, and I get to sit on the stage with him for 45 minutes and talk to him. So I'm out of my mind. I do that in about 20 minutes, so I'm just hyped up and ready to go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, lastly, is there anything we can expect from you in the future? Any new reveals you can talk a little bit about?
Sure. I mean, I'm on the second Return, And this morning I was writing a scene about the 5 Kingdom Keepers climbing up a hill and sneaking into Walt Disney's backyard in 1955. There will be a 3rd book in that series. And I think, like we did for Kingdom Keepers 7, in the return, I think what we're going to do this year is have a community write. We're all going to write a script of the 1st book for film.
That's awesome.
So we hope to have you on there writing.
Very cool. Well, like I said, the return and also the Syndrome are now available.
You bet.
So
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks for having me on. Happy D23.